When it comes to building or updating your radio station website, there are more options than ever before now. From services specializing in radio station websites to DIY platforms, pre-built radio station templates. You're practically spoiled for choice. But as the saying goes, you get what you pay for. Hi, it's Jim. Welcome to Better Radio Websites, the podcast that wants to help you get more visitors and the most revenue from your radio station website. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe wherever you get this podcast. If you are actually listening to the podcast in your favorite podcast platform, please do us a favor and drop us a line to let us know what speaks to you and what things that you'd like to see coming in future episodes of the podcast. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe there as well to make sure that you're getting every episode that we put out. Thank you so much for doing that. All right, so this week we're talking about going cheap. If you're looking to start or revamp your website at some point, there are so many options to choose from now. And today we're going to explore some of the common routes the stations take and reveal why taking the cheapest path might end up being the most expensive mistake you could make, especially if you rely on your website to engage with audiences and attract advertisers. And hopefully that is a big priority for you because it should engage your audience, attract advertisers, and generate revenue for your radio station. So we'll look at the different options that you have. You can work with a website agency. You have somebody local that you actually can reach out to. Typically, they build websites for everybody, and they build them from scratch, and they can customize general templates, or they just build everything from code, just totally one-off. And they'll charge an upfront fee for the design, development, and then additional fees probably for hosting, maintenance, and ongoing support. Now, while you can get a professional-looking website, that's one of the pros of this. You can get something that's very, very good and very, very professional, unique. That is a big selling point for this route. Agencies typically have teams of people. So you get design, development, marketing, but they're not necessarily radio focused. They probably have a portfolio of car dealerships and mom and pop stores, grocery stores, everything. So they have this big portfolio. It makes it look like, oh yeah, they're going to be able to help us out. But they're probably more than likely going to want to fit your radio station into the boxes that they have already become accustomed to, because it doesn't really take a whole lot to tweak a furniture store website to be a florist website or something like that. All right. So some of the cons you need to look for is the high upfront cost. Professional agencies often charge thousands of dollars. And yes, you could probably trade this out, but sometimes it's tens of thousands of dollars for the initial website. I remember that the first website that a radio station website that I was ever a part of was back in like 1996, 1997. And the radio station paid $15,000. Yes, it was trade, but it was $15,000 for this website. And a lot of agencies are getting that and a whole lot more today. So, and then you have to look at ongoing fees. That's another con for going this agency route. There's maintenance, there's updates, and they typically bill these hourly. And what I mean by hourly, I don't mean $20 an hour. They're more than likely $125 an hour. And so either they're going to bill it hourly or they're going to have you on a pricey retainer agreement for them to go in and do these maintenance updates. And they're less radio focused features. Like I said, they're probably trying to fit your radio station into the box of their furniture store and their gas station websites. All right. So they're probably not going to understand the streaming integration that you need to have, displaying the current on-air show and specific ad placements that radio stations need. And so, you have ads that rotate in this particular spot. I have this client that only wants to rotate their banner ad during the lunch hours. And so they're not able to do these kinds of things. Now, I will issue a warning with going the agency route. Never, ever, never, ever consider an out-of-country agency or freelance developer. Every 100% of the people that I have come in contact with, radio station owners, general managers, everyone that has gone this route of doing something out of country has all gotten burned. And the reason why is that you're going to get 100% of their attention up front because they are focused on the big initial payday. And that's pretty much where they end. They rarely, if ever, are going to have time for maintenance and changes afterward because their focus has now shifted to the next big payday. And then once that is done, the next big payday. So they don't have time for your $50 maintenance thing because that's going to take time away from their next big payday. So I will just go ahead and issue that warning there. I have never had anybody that has gone the out of country route and not been burned by that. All right. I'm sure there's some great people out there and great developers and stuff like that, but everybody that I have come in contact with has always gotten burned. So some places where legit web agencies fall short, hidden costs for every update. That's gonna be a part of the deal. If you need frequent content updates or if you need maintenance updates, code updates, major changes come down the pike, the agency's going to bill you for that, and those bills are going to add up quickly over time. So this is going to cost you way more in the long run. It's just going to because you're going to need those code updates because security updates happen every single day. Lack of radio expertise, that is another big one. You're going to spend a lot of time educating them on why you need certain features that aren't standard features in other industries. The car dealership and the flower shop, they're not going to need on air now and to be putting ads around the website in certain spaces and rotating clients in those spaces. So you're going to have to spend extra time educating them on why you need those features. And then the next option, there's agencies and then there's DIY website builders. Of course, you've all seen these, the Wix, the Webleys, the Squarespace, and yeah, these have gotten a little bit better over time. Of course, these are drag and drop DIY website builders. They require minimal or even no coding experience, and they often offer a quick path to a functional website very, very quickly. You can spin up a website in a weekend, basically, if you're familiar with their platform. And so some of the pros are, yeah, they're fast to launch, low code. They typically, 15, $20 a month. I will say that they're easy to use for some people because you don't require any coding or advanced design skills or anything like that. But a lot of people get in there and then they get to that interface and they're like, wow, what in the world do I do first? All right. So some of the cons are you're not going to find the radio centric features that we were talking about with the agencies, like streaming players, integrated podcast solutions. They can be clunky if they're not even supported. Template limitations, going in to customize it, you can be very, very restricted on what you can and cannot do. You may want things to overlap. They can't overlap. You may want them to look a certain way. That's not an option. And so all of this is going to make it very, very frustrating for you to get your station's brand and to meet advertiser demands. So if you want that different multiple advertisers to rotate in this particular ad space, they may not even offer that. You may just have to go in and change that out manually every single time that you want a different advertiser there. You can't schedule it ahead of time. There's lack of scalability. As your station grows and your needs evolve, are you able to go in there and add certain things that your radio station is doing? Are you able to add a photo contest whenever you want to? Some of these DIY platforms, they simply can't handle that because they are built for the flower shops and the local mom and pop restaurants and stuff like that. They're not built for professional radio stations. So where the DIY falls short is, yes, there's going to be a learning curve. You don't have to know code, but you're going to have to spend time learning their platform, where to drag and drop things, how to troubleshoot issues and keeping the site fresh. Another place where it falls short is you're now the designer. So you have to follow best practices to ensure that this website that you're building doesn't frustrate your audience. I mean, do you know where the psychology goes into where the logo should be in relation to where the menu items should be and how that should lay out and how it should look best on a mobile device? If you don't know those things, That's okay. You don't know them, but you are required to know these things if you're going to go the DIY route. Some are just too basic for serious advertising and promotions. That's another place where it falls short. If you're serious about driving revenue and selling ad space, you're going to need functionality that most of these DIY solutions they just don't provide out of the box, like rotating ads in a particular ad space. They're not going to offer that at all. Are you looking for engaging local content to help keep your radio station website fresh and compelling? Introducing Content Lab from Skyrocket Radio. Our dedicated team of content creators handles the heavy lifting, writing hyperlocal articles that resonate with your community and keeping visitors coming back for more. Imagine having consistent professional content without distracting your on-air talent or sales staff from their core jobs. With Content Lab, you get fresh local stories, features, and community updates tailored specifically to your market. That means better SEO, more web traffic, and new advertising opportunities, all built around your station's unique vibe. So, if you're ready to elevate your online presence and showcase local happenings that matter, let us take care of that content. This way, you can focus on what you do best, delivering great radio. Visit skyrocketradio.com/content lab to learn more and to start boosting your station's digital impact today. So let's look at the next one. There are agencies, then there are the DIY platforms, and then there's a radio station template provider. Yeah, if you have WordPress and you go out there, there are a lot of radio station website templates that you can choose from. Yes, radio friendly features, everything that you would need to run a radio station, the on-air schedules and everything like that. But it's also going to require that you have a deep understanding of, let's say, WordPress or whatever the content management system that you are working on. Some of the pros in going with a radio station website template, yes, they're going to have a lot of things that radio stations require, like show schedules, DJ profiles, streaming player integration, and so on. There's often a one-time or a subscription small pricing involved. And this can appear very cost effective, especially if you're paying for just a one-off fee or a very, very small monthly fee for this template. And there are a lot of customization options. You can theoretically tweak the template to your needs if you're familiar with that content management system. Now, some of the places where it's not so good, some of the cons is potential bloat. Some of these templates, they might come with all these features that you need, but they also come with features that you don't need. And those features are still loaded in the background. And these can slow your website down and make it more confusing to manage. There's limited support. Beyond the initial setup, you might be on your own for the hosting plan, troubleshooting, security. What if things go wrong on the server? Or do you have somebody to troubleshoot server issues and hosting issues and stuff like that? There's a maintenance burden. Platforms like WordPress, they require regular updates to keep secure. If you don't have a tech-savvy staff member on hand that can make these updates, then this option is going to become a headache very, very quickly. Now, some places where these templates fall short is a hidden technical debt. You're going to be responsible for the updates. Let's say the template doesn't have events a part of it. So you have to go out and you have to get a events plugin to have events on your website. Well, what if that plugin does not jive with the template that you're using? So then you got to go out and you got to find one that does, and then it's a headache very, very quickly. Security patches, you cannot miss out on these, because if your site becomes vulnerable to attacks or worse, then you have a nightmare that could last a long, long time. Then you have to pay a developer to come in and rescue you, and that's not going to be cheap. All right, these templates, they're not fully turnkey. Despite the radio-friendly label, you're going to need to do all the customization and integrations and stuff like that yourself, because they're probably not offered by the template provider's support. And then again, you're still the designer. Some of these templates, they're going to offer multiple layouts. You just you insert the template, then you pick the layout that you like, and then you just go in there and switch out your logo. That's not going to be all that's required. All right. There's the colors that are not going to exactly match, and all these other things that you're going to have to design and to put in place to get it to look right, to ensure that it matches your brand. And then Do all of these things that you're doing, are they up to best practice standards? Are they going to be turning visitors away? Again, you're still the designer when it comes to choosing this template. I wish I could tell you that you could just get this template, switch out your logo, and that's it. That's all you have to do. But unfortunately, that's just not the case because every radio station is different. Every radio station is going to have different needs and desires. All right, so let's now look to specialized radio station website providers like us here at Skyrocket Radio. This option is tailored for radio stations. We don't do flower shops, we don't do car dealerships or anything like that. We live and breathe radio. The things that we offer are turnkey solutions. That means that the design, the hosting, the maintenance, all of these unique radio station features, they're all baked in to the product. So you don't have to worry about piecing everything together, getting that event plug in, getting that contest plug in, getting that ad thing. You don't have to worry about any of that. Everything is already baked in. The pros of going this route: all of the radio focused features are there. Built-in streaming providers, the show schedules, ad scheduling, podcasting, all that stuff is a part of your website. It's a one-stop shop. That's another pro. So you get the hosting, the security, the regular maintenance updates. They're all handled under one roof. And for that, probably one monthly fee. Industry expertise. The providers understand the ins and outs of radio stations, from sales to promotions to on-air events. You don't have to educate us on anything that the radio station is doing because we've been there. We've done that. So let's look at the cons. We have to put the cons in here as well. There is a monthly or annual cost involved. The comprehensive approach can seem more expensive at first glance when you're comparing it to a DIY or a very cheap template. However, I hope you've seen that over time, this is going to be the cheaper way to go. You're going to have less flexibility for non-radio purposes because we are specialized. We may not be able to cover your TV station on the side or this other thing that you have on the side. It might not be a perfect solution for if your business model extends beyond traditional radio broadcasting needs. We have had some clients that say, okay, we have a radio station, but we also have this thing or we have this thing. And I'm like, okay, well, it's good for the radio, but it's not good for this other thing. We can probably make some things work, but we'll have to get hacky about it. And I don't like doing that, but if they're okay with it, okay, fine. Where specialized providers excel is true partnership. They anticipate what you need: advertising modules, local news, contest pages, events, and stuff like that. And we keep up with trends in the radio industry. Many of us, we are already implementing the AI stuff. So you don't have to worry about implementing AI and how we're going to implement AI on our website. We're already doing that. It's a predictable budget. You know exactly how much your monthly and your annual costs are up front without surprising fees every time that you need to change something or you have a technical emergency or anything like that. You're not going to have to worry about if the website goes down, you make a phone call. You don't have to go in there and jump in. You do it yourself or write another check. All-in-one support. There's no juggling different companies for hosting, design, feature updates, and this is going to save you time, stress, and money in the long run. Now, I will issue a warning. Yes, there is even a warning when it comes to us who are radio station website providers, and that is to weigh all of your options carefully. If you're shopping around, whether it be Skyrocket Radio or any of the other ones out there, be sure that you weigh all of the options carefully. Each provider has its own pros and cons. Many stations will go with the provider that has the most or the best sounding features, only to find that support is horrible. Or they may not actually use what the provider considers their best features. They just simply don't have the staff in order to use all of these other cool bells and widgets and stuff like that. Also, many require a term commitment, which marries you to them for sometimes at least a year. If you're not happy with somebody, you shouldn't have to stick with them through that entire term. All right. That's just something we don't believe in. When I was in the radio station, I hated term commitments because if I didn't like it, gosh, now I have to wait until February in order for me, for us to change or something like that. I just don't like that. Also, be wary of barter services. If you do the math, you'll find that the cost of barter can be somewhere 2 to 5 times what a flat monthly fee would be. And that just doesn't make any sense if you're going to pay that, because you are paying that. If you're paying that on the radio, yeah, you're giving them spots and it's not your no money out of pocket. But really, if you went out there and you sold that, you're going to find that the math just really doesn't add up when it comes to barter. So the hidden cost of the cheap options are time investment. Whether it's a DIY builder or a bare bones content management system template, going cheap means that you or your staff is going to have to spend valuable time learning the platform, troubleshooting issues, managing updates, and everything else that comes along with that. Number two, missed revenue opportunities. A poorly functioning or hard to update website can mean you're going to lose advertisers more than likely because they're going to want something that you just simply cannot offer. Then let's talk about lack of features. Cheap solutions may not come with everything that your station needs, like streaming audio, schedule management, contest pages, local news, events. Then there's security and maintenance risks. Sites that aren't regularly updated or monitored can become security nightmares. A hacked website can damage your station's reputation and potentially cost a whole lot more to fix. Unpredictable future expenses is the last one. Even if you start cheap, you often end up paying more in fixes, custom features, and rushed updates later on. Over time, these add-ons and everything like that is going to easily surpass the cost of a reliable, specialized solution. So really the goal of all of this is for you to weigh your options wisely. Your radio station's website is a critical tool for engaging listeners, showcasing sponsors, and building your brand's digital presence. Choosing the cheapest or fastest option could very well lead to hidden expenses, both in time and money. So why is a specialized provider worth it? Well, a dedicated radio station website provider like us here at Skyrocket Radio, we understand the unique needs of radio. You're going to get a platform built for live streaming, advertising, audience engagement without juggling multiple vendors or learning complex systems. In the end, the question isn't how cheap can I get this website? It's how do I get a website that supports my station's growth? The right solution should save you time, generate revenue opportunities, and strengthen your brand. That's the real price you should be considering. Are you ready to explore how a radio-focused website solution can help your radio station grow? We're here to help. Reach out to us at skyrocketradio.com. You'll learn more about our turnkey solutions, and we'll set up a personalized demo for you just to show you everything that we can offer. All right. Hopefully this information helps you this week. Go out there and have an awesome week online, making your radio station website better. We'll see you next time.